Let's do it.
Welcome to the episode of the Award Central podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to be giving our November update for the acting categories. We really thought about doing some other categories, but there was so much shift in so many different categories right now in these acting categories, especially in actor, that we have to talk about, that we have to give our November update for right off the rip. As always, joined by my podcast partner here, Benji. How are you doing, man?
The good as I was 15 minutes ago, this is definitely being filmed on a different day. The magic of editing has not teared us apart for 2 weeks when we've been filming on the same day. We do not do that.
No, not at all. We are not wearing the same shirts, not wearing the same nothing. You know what I mean? This is definitely filmed apart. But one of the big shifts in the categories, obviously, we talked about a little bit on our last podcast when we talked about casting and director, was Chase Affinity moving from supporting to lead. That was such a big shift that we saw. Another shift that we've seen over the last few weeks are the Bruce Springsteen movie not performing well, not going over well. We've seen the Smashing Machine really kind of fall flat on its face, which has been really hurtful towards the potential nominations coming across the board for that film. And could it hurt the potential idea of The Rock being nominated for actor? One battle after another is getting some love in some other places where there's nominations coming in at Gotham, where it was interesting to see like a Benicio del Toro get sneak into that nomination, which was funny, but not seeing Sean Penn and so many other different things that we're going to talk about. But I was like, you know what? We're going to rip the Band-Aid off right off the back. We're going to talk about Best Actor because I feel like last month I was confident in several different picks. And as I'm looking at it, I was like, oh my God. Like I took two completely out of my nominations. I've added two more. I'm not even like, I don't even know how I feel about anybody outside of my number one and number two right now. But before we talk about those, what were your thoughts in trying to jockey for position for Best Actor with the idea of potentially like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, possibly out of the equation, Jeremy Allen White, who felt like a lock like 3 weeks ago, the last time we talked, out of the equation. What did you think about trying to navigate your five?
Well, it's interesting because even though it's a bit more of a mess, because Best Actor this year seems pretty weak, to be honest with you, it in a way made it a lot easier because, kind of spoiler alert right out the bat, Daniel Day-Lewis is now just out of my list. I don't really think he has much of a shot. I thought the idea of Daniel Day-Lewis being back in a movie would be a little bit more exciting, but really I just don't think it's transpired the way I thought it would. Because Sinners hasn't stayed as strong since Hamnet and One Ballot After Another came out, I still haven't got the confidence to put Michael B. Jordan in. George Clooney for Jay Kelly, I'm just having a hard time seeing the future for that movie, unfortunately, maybe outside of supporting actor and original screenplay. So my top five, actually, especially my top three, I'm pretty comfortable with. Number four or five, I think one of them will make it in at the end of the day, and then there'll probably be some like outside pick that we're not even considering at the moment that'll probably end up swooning in and taking the number five spot.
Yeah, it's funny because you sit here and you criticize two of my picks, but it's all right. You know what I mean? I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I think that over the course of the last few months, with somebody like Dwayne Johnson and somebody like Jeremy Allen White not being in the picture anymore, I feel like it strengthens Michael B. Jordan's case to be in that five. I truly believe that's going to happen. I still feel confident in that. And I feel like that film is about to have a resurgence based on it is about to be, you know, the fair's going on. You know what I mean? Like the circus is going to go on. You know what I mean? We've got to roll out all of our guys, all of our players, and say, hey, here's who we got. You know what I mean? Let's put them in front of all the voters. Let's put them in front of the, in front of everybody, and try to get those nominations locked in. And I feel like Sinners is just going to be, it's going to ride a wave, and I think it's going to ride a strong wave over the next couple months. But all right, let's talk a little bit about. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think that I feel like as more films continuously be bad, I feel like it's stronger and stronger to be nominated in a lot more than maybe what we see. So, all right, let's go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. Give me, I mean, for actor, I would presumably think that we both have the same one and two, but let's talk about your 5 through 1, top to bottom, brother.
So I surprised myself with this, but as I started to do a process of elimination, I actually came around to this idea more. And I'll explain myself later. I still have Dwayne Johnson in as my number 5 for the Smashing Machine. Number 4, Jeremy and White, Springsteen's of Me Nowhere. Number 3, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. Then number 1 and 2 could literally be swapped, but for now I've just stuck with Timothy Chalamet from Mighty Supreme for number 2, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. That's my number 1.
So you're still, well, let me go through my 5 through 1, and we'll dissect not each other's list, but not dissecting it, but we'll talk about each other's list. Obviously, for me right now, I've got Michael B. Jordan at number 5 for Sinners. I have George Clooney right now because it's George Clooney at number 4 for Jay Kelly. Number 3, Wagner Moura for It Was Just an Accident. Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, and then Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another at number 1. All right, so talk to me about the idea of the potential of Dwayne Johnson still being your number 5.
So a lot of people will probably get angry at me and say that they're not similar. So they're more similar than what people may realize. Do you remember when Ana de Armas was nominated for Blonde for Best Actress a few years ago? And I remember coming up to that, people just didn't think it was going to happen at all. They've said that movie's just too art housey, it's too weird, it's too all over the place. She may give a strong performance, but even her strong performance itself is too crazy to get in. And then it got nominated at the Golden Globes. People were like, whoa, that's crazy, or that's just a Globes thing. Critics' Choice picked up on it. SAG picked up on it. I can't remember if BAFTA picked up on it, but she ended up getting the Oscar nomination. I see kind of the same thing for Dwayne Johnson. As Best Actor is so weak, I can easily see him getting in at Golden Globes. With Critics' Choice having usually more than 5 nominees, I can see him getting in there. You know, I think the actors would love to see Dwayne Johnson be nominated. BAFTA is the only one I'm unsure of. Even having a lineup of Golden Globe, SAG, and Critics' Choice is way more than enough to get in as a number 5 spot into Best Actor. So whilst I'm not trying to say like it's happening, you guys are stupid, I'll prove you all wrong, I don't think it's anywhere near as out of the conversation as people would have you believe. I feel like there's a lot of goodwill going towards him. You know, he's one of the most liked celebs in the world. Everyone's going to want to see it happen. It's, in my opinion, it's a genuinely great performance. And I'm not even like a big Dwayne Johnson fanboy. I just think he has everything going for him.
To be honest with you, everything you said is everything that I was going to say. I have him at 6. I had a fringe 6 because I was not confident, because I'm just scared of the film's lackability. I think another thing that has in its favor is makeup, right? I think that has a potential to sneak in there as well. But for me, the likability factor is huge this time of the year. And when you start to dwindle down some of these nominations, Critics' Choice has 6, right? 6. It's a strong 6. Now, when we talk about like the Golden Globes, you have 5 and 5. You have 10 total nominations that are going to be in there. So if you break down what we're looking at here, right, you know what I mean, when it comes down to it, Jeremy Allen White will more than likely be on the music side of things, potentially with the music and comedy thing with One Battle. So that could be a person out of that equation. So that separates him, right? Because we're talking about how we feel like it's kind of top heavy, right? Wagner Moura, Timothy Chalamet, and Leonardo DiCaprio. So we believe DiCaprio is strong, so, and obviously strong with winning. So if you move him to comedy, again, there goes another slot for for Dwayne Johnson, right? You know what I mean? In Golden Globes, we're talking about Golden Globes right this second, right? You know what I mean? So as you start to pick that up, as you start to move it up, you know what I mean? You're starting to see avenues of which he could potentially be at least a Golden Globe. I think because there's 6 at Critics' Choice, he's almost a lock, in my opinion, at Critics' Choice. I really feel like he is a lock at Critics' Choice. And we're going to do a Critics' Choice prediction podcast in the near future. We'll do a Golden Globes one as well. But for me, I almost feel like that performance, his likability, people gotta remember, man, not everybody votes, no matter the voting body. I'm not being critical of just one specific. No matter the voting body, it's not always about the performance, right? It's about whether that guy shook my hand in the lobby whenever I said hi. Did he say hi? You know what I mean? Is he likable? Do I like how he is as a person? Do I think that there's people that will vote based off of those things versus the actual performances? You know what I mean? Like, that's why, to me, like, a lot of people think like a movie like Christie that we'll talk about in a little bit, I don't think it has a prayer in hell but it wouldn't surprise me if it sneaks into certain spots because of who it is. And I'm talking about like Golden Globes. Could it sneak into Critics' Choices 6? I don't think it could happen, but there's a possibility where you have to open your eyes to that. When this game that we play of predictions, you have to peel back all of the layers of predictions. It's not just about the performance. It's about who's in front of you. What other things do you think about? And again, the personality of the person and how they are receptive is a big proponent in this process, right?
Goodwill goes a long way. Think about the amount of times Diana Warren's been nominated in an original song.
Think about
it's
Brendan
more of a
Fraser
thing.
for The Whale.
Oh yeah, I mean, his win was practically because of Goodwill, as far as I'm concerned.
100%. The only reason that man won is because of the redemption arc that he had going for him. Sorry,
Exactly.
the movie sucked.
True.
Period. You know what I mean?
Well, I really like The Whale, but even I think that's
Of
why
course
he
you
won.
did. I forgot you did. Now that just pisses me off. Now I just want to forget that I forgot you like that damn movie. Oh man, that just you shouldn't have said that out loud because now my feelings are hurt. Now I just want to quit the podcast in the middle of the show. I'm kidding, everybody. I like to give Benji a hard time. But you know what? Let's change things up. I was gonna go best actress, but you know what? We're gonna go supporting actress.
Okay, no, I
let's
like
talk
this mix.
I like the mix too. You know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about supporting actress. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the players that are 5, but talk to me about putting together that 5.
So, similar situation to Best Actor. I started having to knock things off, obviously, and we'll get to this eventually. Chase Infinity has been confirmed to be campaigned in lead, so we know where we stand with that one. But actually, I say that I've only actually taken one person out of my top 5, and that was Chase Infinity. I've moved the order around of some things quite somewhat. So my number 4 last time is now my number 1. My number 1 is now my number 2. My number 4 is now my number 3. My number 3 is my number 4, and then my number 6 is now my number 5. So it's not actually changed all that much, but the order of things has dramatically changed.
Yeah. So obviously, I think for me, I think I'm in that same boat with you. I think I added somebody to my 5, and maybe jockeyed for a position a little bit. I need to keep better track of who I had in versus I just switching it. I always just type over it on my list. But yeah, I think my 4 of my 5 are basically the same too. I think so. A category I think is a little bit easy, and when it comes to top 3, maybe I don't know. This category is weird. I feel like 4 and 5 is top 2. I'll say no, not even top 2.
Number 3 is a hopeful pick.
I don't know. Instead of just pretending I know what I'm talking about right now, I'm going to let you go. Give me your 5 through 1. We'll give you 5 through 1. I'll give my 5 through 1. And then, of course, we'll talk about them after that. So give me your 5 through 1 right now.
So my number 5 is a new joinee. I've got Gwyneth Paltrow from March Supreme. Number 4, I'm not going to try and say a full name, but Inga from Sentimental Value. Number 3, Amy Madigan for Weapons. Number 2, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. Number 1, Tiana Taylor, One Battle After Another.
Let's go, everybody. You hear that?
Yeah.
We got him on the Tiana bandwagon, baby. We love to see it.
Well, yeah, I just can't deny it at this point. It would be my personal pick. I really think she has it going for her at this point. The thing with Tiana Taylor is that she isn't in the movie that much, but this is like what supporting actress is meant to be. They're not in the movie a whole lot, but whenever a supporting character is in the scene, they absolutely steal it. And even when she's on the screen with Leonardo DiCaprio, when her character's there with him, all of my focus is on her. And I think her emotional kind of gravitas carries throughout the whole movie. When she's not there, I just think she's fucking perfect in the movie, and I want her to win. I think she'll win. I'm down for her to win. It's just like it's just kind of locked in at this point. We'll see what potentially changes, but I am here for it.
One of the things you said that I feel like people don't understand or appreciate in the supporting act and supporting player as all, right? The film as a collective whole, right? you hit the nail on the head. Not only was it with like, you know what I mean? Like when she's on there, it's a supporting player. You're a supporting player. You're supporting the film. You don't have to be in the film for the entire film to be a supporting player. We always have that conversation of like, well, were you supporting or were you lead? You know what I mean? Because if she's in the entire movie, then it's like, oh, she might be more of a lead than you look, but because she wasn't. But her presence, the character's presence itself is felt throughout the entire second half of the movie. The whole driving force behind a lot of what happens in the second half of the film has to do with Tiana Taylor's character, right? You know what I mean? So her presence is felt regardless of her being on the screen. And that's a testament to the performance to start with, because if she doesn't give that performance, the care for that character, whether because she's not even there, and you're even throughout the film, you're kind of waiting for her to maybe show up. And a lot of people, when you watch that film, are like, oh, I wish she showed up. I'm glad she didn't. I'm so glad she didn't.
Yeah.
Her performance means so much more because she wasn't in that second half of the film. But that being said, let me go through my 5 through 1 real quick. I got Amy Madigan for Weapons, which would be a cool nomination. I got Ella Fanning for
one of the coolest nominations. Oh, I'm curious.
No, you're fine. Ella Fanning for Sentimental Value.
I was about to say, actually.
Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, number 4. 3, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, and Inga for Sentimental Value at number 2, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another at number 1.
Okay. What makes you think Elle Fanning can get in, and what makes you think Inga is so high?
I just feel like there's a lot of love for this film, having seen it as well. I think to me, Ariana's probably going to be number 2 no matter what. Right? You know what I mean? I really feel that way when it comes down to it. I think the only thing for me with Wicked for Good is, can it really capture what it did the first time with voters so soon? This is not a film that came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, we're fresh off of that nomination. We're fresh off that drive. We're fresh off of everything that happened recently. But for me, Sentimental Value, this is, in my opinion, if you look at it, I don't feel like there's strong. Gwyneth Paltrow is somebody that comes to mind, obviously, when it comes down to it. But I'm starting to see some of the Wunmi from Sinners is somebody that I would love to be in my 5. But I feel like Sentimental Value is going to play so well that it's going to be peppered across the board. I think we're going to see, at least 3 acting nominations come out of this film, potentially 2 for sure. But Elle Fanning, I think she's just such a underrated player to that film that I'm starting to come around the idea that we could see 2. And again, in a semi-week, because even Amy Madigan, like I want her in there and I feel like she could be. Would it shock me if she misses? No.
And that's a fair point.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like but I just hold out hope. That's why I have Amy 5. I feel like it's going to happen at like Critics' Choice. I feel like it could happen at Golden Globes. I don't the categories where it's going to get all of the critic love. It's going to get all of the critic love. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like all these critic groups are going to announce their nominees. Amy's going to be in that 5. Amy's going to be in the 5. But I feel like every year we have somebody in that 5 of one of the categories that is just like Oscar morning. You're like, oh shit, they didn't say Amy Madigan. Like, when you're like listening to you always have that one where you're listening to the nominees and then they already move on to the next one. And then you're like, oh shit, they really didn't see Amy Madigan. And I feel like that could be us Oscar morning.
I have a hunch it very well may be. It'll be a sad day when it happens, but sometimes we have to face reality.
For sure. I had Gwyneth last month and I just moved her out. Ella Fanning, again, like I said, I don't know. This category, just looking at it like depth wise, it's not very strong in my opinion. And I think you agree too.
Yeah, no, for the most
depth
part.
Wise.
But then again, I didn't have Gwyneth Paltrow in because I wasn't sure the reaction from Mark Supreme. Now that we have it in, I'm more confident with having her in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. All right. Let's move to supporting actor, actually.
Let's do it.
Supporting actor, definitely an interesting category. For me, some of the names that you're hearing that, again, we don't know each other's, rankings ourselves, so we might touch on somebody in our 5 that might not be in our 5, but some of the names that you're obviously hearing as of late is Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Miles Canton's obviously still in the conversation. Delroy Lindo's in the conversation. Josh O'Connor's in the conversation. there's a lot of names in the conversation, and they might be in the 5. You know what I mean? So I'm going to hit my 5 through 1 first, and then Benji will do his 5 through 1, and we'll talk about each other's 5 through 1. But as of right now, my number 5, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Number 4, Adam Sandler for Jake Kelly. Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. Number 3, Paul Mescal for Hamnet. And Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. What do you got, Captain?
Okay. Our lists are very similar, bar one. So Adam Sandler is my number 6 at the moment. So my number 5, and I've gone out on a bit of a whim, Jake Elordi for Frankenstein. My number 4, I actually have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Number 3, Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Number 2, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Number 1, of course, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another.
So the Jacob Elordi train is moving, right? You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of love for that performance online. It's a film I could see Jacob being in my 5 by the time we start having more and more conversations because of the amount of love that it's getting. And I think that the makeup, the performance wise, I haven't seen it, you know what I mean? But, you could tell from the makeup aspect of things, you're starting to see a lot of love for the performance as a collective whole. I think the only thing that I have against it is the love for Adam Sandler and the love for this Benicio performance really has me second guessing whether, because I think the top 3 is locked in. You agree with that? I feel like the top 3 is almost locked 100%. In. Yeah. So I think we're vying for 4 and 5. So Delroy, I think, is a sneaky hitter too. I think Delroy's sneaky. And I think Delroy's sneaky to the point of like, do you make, like, is there going to be some sort of makeup nomination as well? Like not makeup, but makeup nomination for what was that film? The Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods. That's one of the most painful snubs of all time. I get upset thinking about it.
So is there some, again, people, Delroy, one of the most likable, one of the more underrated, I think, actors of like all time, even, you know what I mean? Because when he's in something, he's crushing it. You know what I mean? Even
it's a fair comment.
One of his small, even he wasn't like even like he didn't have a big performance in Sinners, but he had an impactful performance in Sinners. Yeah. I can't wait to rewatch that. It's been a while since I've rewatched it, but yeah, like give me your thought. Like, so you put Stellan at 2 over Mescal? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
So I think with Paul Mescal, I feel like that the attitude was him is that it's just not his time yet, which isn't something that I particularly buy into, but I do kind of feel like that's the attitude. And with Stellan Skarsgård, it's with him as an actor and his character in Sentimental Value, he's very warm, he's very empathetic, he's very kind of father figure like, and that kind of reaches out into him as a person in real life. Not only that, though, he's never been Oscar nominated before, so he has that overdue factor. He's been very much a working actor in international and American and English movies. So there's a lot of respect going towards him between actors. So honestly, if it wasn't for Sean Penn, I'd probably have him at my number 1 for that reason. But then when you have somebody as strong as Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, it doesn't matter. He's won 2 Oscars before because it's just that strong. It's hard to deny it at this moment in time. So that's kind of my logic behind why I have him over Paul.
I can see that. Yeah, exactly. I can see that as well. I just feel like there's a lot of love for this Hamnet movie, but I'm like, also, will that film resonate with voters? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, again, it's just when it comes down to winning, nomination wise, again, we both feel like this top 3 right now is probably about as locked as you can lock in right now. You know what I mean? So that to me is, where I see it. But I don't know, man. I just feel like there's some sort of avenue where I just don't see Sean Penn not winning. But my question to you is, if Benicio and Sean Penn get in, could they potentially split the votes for Stellan to potentially win?
It's a fair comment, but no, I'm not a big believer in vote splitting. I mean, do you remember when Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya were both nominated? Everyone was saying they're going to split the vote. Sacha Baron Cohen's going to win for Trial of Chicago 7, and it just didn't happen. I don't actually think there's ever been a case of vote splitting. So the quick and honest answer is no. I want Benicio to get nominated. He rivals Sean Penn for me as my favorite supporting character in that movie. I think that, you know, in a movie at times, especially when you get into the second act and especially the third act, can be quite, I wouldn't want to say subdued, but, you know, intense, high energy. When you see his character, it's like being a child and seeing, you know, one of your parents at the end of like a really hard day. It's just that sense of warmth that you feel like you need, like you feel like everything's going to be okay just because he's there, and that's like not an easy thing to do. So yeah, I love Benicio del Toro in that movie, and he's one of my favorite actors. So selfishly, I want it to happen, and you know, it's just something I really want to see happen. So maybe I'm trying to manifest. I have my number, but I think it's impossible at the same time.
Yeah, talk to me about, right, you know, because there's also a level of the level of care within the performance, like in a movie that's almost slightly a Debbie Downer in some elements of the film. He breathes life into it with that comedic aspect
Yeah.
of it. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's a performance that I hope to see nominated as well, because I agree with you. That to me is like, it's such a fucking film where just so many great performances, man. Like, golly, you know what I mean? It's just like performance after performance after performance. It's
I
just
mean,
absolutely bonkers.
I'd be happy if Regina Hall got nominated for it. I mean, it's just one of those movies. I honestly just think everyone's just killing it. Like, I struggle to find like a bad note with it. It's just the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's just, yeah, and that's why I struggle with the idea of it potentially not getting the love that people think it could or could not get. You know what I mean? So that to me is like one thing that just is frustrating. But all right, so we got one category left. All right, one battle after another here. We're gonna one battle after another ourselves here. Best actors, right? You know what I mean? Obviously,
It's a good one.
it's a good category. Very good category in some elements. Give me your thoughts about the category before we break into our, you know, thoughts about the collective category.
So, Chase Infinity's really shake things up, but even though I love the movie, this is where we have to calm down a little bit. I don't feel like Chase Infinity is unfortunately going to be in the winning conversation, unlike her other co-stars. So she's helped me move out one person and put her in. Apart from that, my 4-to-1's actually stayed the same, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, I don't think my 4-to-1 has shifted. Actually, uh, no, my 1 and 2 have flip flopped, but outside of that, I feel like my 4 through 1 hasn't changed. I just added somebody else to the fifth slot. That's really just what. I just have a different winner this time and go around. I do think that this is such a strong category where I feel confident in 1 through 3. I think,
Same.
and 4
I
feels
think we've
like a
got the same 1 to
fringe.
3.
We probably have the same 1 through 3, maybe not the same order, but um, there's a
We might have
critic,
the same 1 to 5 with what you're saying.
but I think there's a one performance that I have decided not to give. Like, I don't think is going to get the love, but I want to wait to hear your 1 through 5 before I fully lock it in. So give me your 1 through 5, and then we can talk about it.
I'll give you my 5-3-1.
5-through-1, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So number 5, I do have Chase Infinity, one battle after another. Number 4, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. Number 3, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. Number 2, Renata Reinzer for Sentimental Value. Number 1, Jessie Buckley for Hamlet.
Okay, so we're slightly different, slightly.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Interesting.
My 5, same, Chase Infinity, one battle after another. I feel like this, I agree with you 100%. 0% chance she wins. I think it's almost 100% luck she gets in. I just feel like it. I just feel like this film's too strong. Even having it at 5, I feel like people could jump over at 4, you know what I mean, and get in. I just don't think that I don't think she goes below the 5. I just don't think she does. I think the film's too strong. And I'll be heartbroken if she doesn't, just because, you know,
Do you
I
think
just feel
that'll be
like
a bit biased though? Because this does happen all the time because she's young. People may not put her in because that does happen.
100,000%.
I mean,
100,000%.
and because you got Tiana Taylor, who out of all the female performances really steals the show, they may just overlook her. And I don't want that to happen. I want her to get nominated, but I think that just might be the truth of the matter.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just feel like I think that no matter what happens over the next like 2 months, she's going to be my 5 regardless of how I feel. I totally 100% to see a scenario where she gets overlooked, and that could be our Amy Magnan instead of like, "Oh no! Best actress was announced. Chase Infinity. Ah, shit." You know what I mean? So,
I
I
think it
definitely
could
foresee it
happen.
happening. Yeah, it'll be sad when it does happen, probably. 4, Cynthia Rovio for Wicked for Good. Number 3, Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee.
Ooh, okay.
I think this is performance. I haven't seen it, but I've talked to a few people that I like that we have similar taste. I think this performance is a knockout, and I hope that I agree with that sentiment whenever I see it. So I'm excited to see that balance. I have Jessie Buckley at number 2, and then I have Renee at number 1 for sentimental value.
What's
Strong
made you
before.
put? What? Sorry, I think I might have overspoken you there. I think you might have been getting to it. But what made you put Renata Rice variant at number 1? Sorry.
I think when it comes down to it, again, haven't seen Hammett, right? You know what I mean? Having seen the
Mhm.
discourse right now, for me, you break down to the fact of preference. And I feel like that to me is where I think Renette slides a little bit higher. It's very much like 1A, 1B. I feel like maybe it's just me, going on a limb with Hamnet. I don't know what boxes it's going to check outside of the 2 acting. I feel like there's other nominations there. I really dove super into the below the line stuff. As we inch closer, I will. But, and of course, I got to see it. You know what I mean? That to me is like something I need to see as well. But for me, seeing Renette and seeing the performance, I really feel strongly that there's a chance that she could really win this Oscar.
I think that's a fair observation. So I've seen Sentiment of Value a lot like you. I haven't seen Hamnet, so I am kind of just going off word of mouth. But I am hearing from people that with Jessie Buckley and Hamnet, it is like the powerhouse performance of the year. It's emotionally heavy. She's crying. She's in emotional pain, like one of those pure Oscar winning type of performances, like bit kind of old school style, which is why I have her at number 1. But I still need to, but again, still need to see the movie. Maybe when I see it, my mind will change.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is another name that's starting to get a lot of love and a lot of push around the board for Die for Me. Um, um, Die My Love, sorry. And it's one that I feel
Mm.
like she's on the cusp as well of being in the conversation because she's been nominated so many damn times. So, you know what I mean? I don't feel like it's not hard for you not to like Jennifer Lawrence either. She's just that person. But yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot before we go, and I'm gonna make you give me all your nominations one last time so that we can clip this and post it on the social media networks for us. So we're gonna go through. You're gonna go. We're going to do supporting actors first. You're going to give me your 5. I'm going to give you my 5. Supporting actor. We'll go supporting actor, then actor, then actress. So if you're ready to go, hit me with your 5 through 1. Supporting actress.
Supporting actress number 5, Gwyneth Paltrow. Number 4, Inga for Sentimental Value. Number 3, Amy Madigan for Weapons. Number 2, Ariana Grande, Wicked for Good. Number 1, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another.
All right, supporting actress for me, Amy Magnan, number 5 for Weapons. Ella Fanning for Sentimental Value at 4. Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good at 3. Inga for Sentimental Value number 2. Tiana Taylor, number 1 for One Battle After Another. Supporting actor, I'll go. Number 5, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Number 4, Adam Sandler, Jay Kelly. Number 3, Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. Number 2, Paul Mescal for Hamnet. And number 1, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another.
Okay, so my number 5 is Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Number 4, Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another. Number 3, Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Number 2, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Number 1, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another.
All right, hit me with your actor.
Number 5, Dwayne The Rock Johnson for the Before Jeremy Allen White, Springsteen Deliver Me Nowhere. Number 3, Wagner Moore, The Secret Agent. Number 2, Timothy Chalamet, Mighty Supreme. Number 1, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another.
Yeah, number 5 for me, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Number 4, Wagner Moura for It Was Just an Accident. Number 3, George Clooney, Jay Kelly. Number 2, Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme. And number 1, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. For actress, number 5, Chase Affinity, One Battle After Another. Number 4, Cynthia Rovia for Wicked for Good. Amanda Seyfried, number 3, The Testament of Anne Lee. Renee Reisov for Sentimental Value, number 2, and Jessie Buckley, number 2, Hamnet. Number 1, Renee Reisov for Sentimental Value.
Okay. Last but not least, my number 5 is Chase Affinity for One Battle After Another. Number 4, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good. Number 2, Renee Reinsver for Sentimental Value. And number 1, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet.
Perfect. Well, guys, that is it for this week's episode. Our next batch of episodes we'll see here in the near future. We will talk about a lot of the other categories. And then, of course, Golden Globes, Critics' Choice nominations are coming up. We're going to do a prediction show on both of those. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Award Central Podcast. We'll be back next week.